But what I want to do is do you some serious damage. Are you hearing me, you pig? So get plenty of steroids and juice down you, mate, because I will fight you tomorrow, today, anytime.
Because he is trying to get attention, he's trying to stay in the limelight and keep in the public eye, or is he
to be careful about what he's saying and where he was saying it? But then in hindsight, he's thinking, shit,
After the brutal training footage of Carl Froch went viral, the situation quickly turned controversial when John Fury suggested that something didn't look right and even hinted at steroid use. Now Carl Froch is responding in his usual straight-talking style, making it clear he doesn't like the games, the accusations, or the unnecessary drama surrounding the situation.
on the back of a bigger offer? So he might be trying to be sneaky and put himself in a better financial position. But either way, I don't like the pissing around because but either way, if I'm totally honest, I'm getting fucking sick of it. I'm really just losing.
John Fury fires a direct warning toward Carl Froch, accusing him of using steroids and claiming he's ready to step in and cause serious damage. The statement is aggressive and clearly personal. Carl Froch's recent brutal training footage appears to be the trigger behind these accusations, intensifying the rivalry.
So I'm going to box you for free. Not box you, fight you for free. I've got fame, I've got money, I've got enough. But what I want to do is do you some serious damage. Are you hearing me, you pig? So get plenty of steroids and juice down you, mate, because I will fight you tomorrow.
Johnny Nelson suggests the comments were made to grab attention and spark discussion around the situation. According to him, once the statement was out there, it immediately became a talking point in boxing circles. At the same time, he describes Carl Froch as someone who usually speaks directly and stands by what he says.
To get his attention, to get everybody's attention, and then he didn't need to do any more because that's what everybody's talking about. I think Carl is a straight shooter, so Carl
Froch is being described as a true world champion level fighter who was extremely dangerous during his peak. His size, toughness, and mentality always stood out. Even now, people in boxing still talk about his physical presence and the respect he commanded inside and outside the ring.
And taking it on the chin is a far better way of dealing with it than calling people haters and bums and nobodies when this guy's a Hall of Famer.
Get over it, Big John. You're on about kicking me up the arse when you see me. You won't be kicking anybody. You won't come near me. You'll probably come and shake me hand, and I hope you do, because I ain't got any beef with you.
I'm glad Carl said that, because Carl's a genuine world champion level fighter, and he's actually bigger than you'd think, right, when you meet him. He's a lot younger than John, and his peak was outrageously good, right? And he's kept himself in shape. And even now, I remember I had a chat with Eddie Hearn about what fighter you've met is the toughest fighter, and he said to me, if I'm ever in a bit of bother, the man I want standing next to me at a pub or whatever is called fucking.
Johnny Nelson is basically saying these reactions are normal because fighters and their teams are human and emotions can easily take over. When accusations like steroids or disrespect start flying around, strong reactions are expected. Situations like this often turn small disagreements into public boxing drama very quickly.
And that's what I'm saying. So let's just forget the human. We're human, so you're going to get human behavior, human reaction. That's how it is. And I'm quite sure if JJ had somebody like his pops to get in front of the camera and show how pissed.
Duke McKenzie points out that Carl Froch is a professional through and through, motivated by meaningful fights and stakes. Without a real challenge or purpose, Froch isn't the type to engage just for show. This explains why John Fury's accusations might get a strong verbal response, but Froch won't overreact unnecessarily.
And then there's Froch, who's been paid to fight. He's used to getting money for knocking guys out. I'm sure if they put enough knocks in front of Carl Froch, then he might rise to it. But he ain't going to rise to it if there's no money on the table, if there's no end goal. If you want to punch up, you can go out in the street and have that any day of the week.
Dominic Ingle highlights Carl Froch's fearless attitude in the ring. He would take on any opponent, never backing down, showing pure courage and confidence. Even when accused or challenged outside the ring, Froch's history shows he only engages where it matters, relying on his skill and experience rather than reacting to every provocation.
Oh yeah, he would fight anybody. But that doesn't mean he was going to beat everybody, but he never turned the fight down and he would never back away. And he won't even train for fights, he'd just get in another fight.
John Fury makes it clear that he has no intention of backing down from a fight if the circumstances are right, asserting his readiness to challenge Carl Froch. He frames it as a matter of business sense and respect, emphasizing that real opportunities involve stakes and recognition. This shows how serious John Fury is about defending his reputation, while also testing Froch's response. It underlines the tension building between the two camps, with Fury positioning himself as both protective and confrontational, keeping the spotlight on Froch and increasing anticipation for any potential showdown.
You, my friend, and nobody else either on this planet. If it makes business sense, but them other people don't generate any money, but you do. Next world champion, people still love you. Let's see what.
Carl Froch responds with his signature confidence, challenging John Fury's claims directly. He questions Fury's ability to even last in a proper fight, highlighting Froch's sharp perception of skill versus bravado. This comment underscores Carl's experience and no-nonsense approach. He doesn't get intimidated by wild accusations or threats. Froch is focused on action over words, signaling that respect in the ring comes from performance, not empty claims. By calling out the practicality of Fury's abilities, he establishes dominance while maintaining a calm but firm stance, reminding everyone why he's a 4-time world champion.
I'll fight you, but you've got to do a job on them. You've got to show me, like I said, that you can even stay on your feet for 3 minutes or 2-minute rounds, whatever it is. Because I don't think...
Mams Taylor weighs in on the speculation, identifying John Fury versus Carl Froch as the more realistic matchup compared to other potential fights. His observation reflects the ongoing buzz in the boxing community and emphasizes how fans and insiders alike see this confrontation as significant. It adds context to the rivalry, showing that beyond personal claims and accusations, the discussion revolves around real possibilities. Taylor's commentary validates the hype surrounding the situation, highlighting that the boxing world is focused on this feud, and Froch's responses carry weight because of his status and credibility in the sport.
I'd like to say yes. If it is going to happen, I'd like to be the one to make it happen. But we'll see.
What would you say is more realistic? Carl Froch versus John Fury or Carl Froch versus Darren Till?
John Fury versus Carl Froch.
Joe Egon delivers a bold opinion, labeling John Fury as merely a bully while praising Carl Froch's accomplishments. By calling Froch a Hall of Famer who has defeated top-level fighters, he reinforces Froch's credibility and experience. The statement paints a clear picture of Froch as the superior competitor in skill and composure. It shows how the public and insiders alike view Froch as capable of handling intimidation tactics, further elevating the tension. Egon's words also suggest that while Fury can talk aggressively, Froch's proven history inside the ring gives him unmatched authority, making him a formidable figure in this confrontation.
I watched Carl Froch getting knocked down by George Groves. He was gone. Carl Froch has an incredible will to win. The fights that he's had with the great champions, and he's come out of the sport intact. For John Fury to be calling out Carl Froch on his opinion, because Carl Froch is entitled to give his opinion in boxing. If you can't have freedom of speech, what was the point in these men and women dying in the world wars, giving their lives in vain?
What do you think would actually happen if John Fury and Carl Froch, as he is,
Carl Froch could stand there and say to John, I'll give you 2 free shots, John. Hit me with your right hand and hit me with your left hand. And they will.
Eddie Hearn comments on the potential danger of a direct confrontation, noting that John Fury would be immediately vulnerable in a real fight scenario. His observation highlights Froch's striking ability and tactical sharpness, showing that Fury's bluster could quickly fail in practice. This insight underlines the difference between threats and actual ring capability, emphasizing Froch's skill and the respect he commands as a fighter. Hearn's perspective adds credibility to the narrative, reinforcing that Froch's experience and composure would dominate any unsanctioned confrontation, making him a dangerous opponent even when tensions are at their peak.
Away from each other.
If John Fury stuck it on Carl Froch in his space, I think he would chin him immediately.
Really? Even live on Netflix?
Yes. Because these guys, they don't allow you to...
Liam Goff explains the back-and-forth history between Carl Froch and John Fury, showing that their tension isn't just media hype. Carl Froch has openly mentioned Fury before and even entertained the idea of a boxing-style exhibition if the conditions were right. The exchange about payment shows that both sides approach the situation professionally, weighing stakes and intentions. It highlights Carl Froch's level-headedness. He's not reacting out of anger but is willing to engage if the fight has purpose, demonstrating his experience in managing high-profile confrontations. This episode reflects the mixture of personal rivalry and business strategy that often surrounds big boxing names, keeping fans and insiders speculating about what could realistically happen between these two personalities.
John Fury was doing that and goading Carl Froch. And I know John Fury doesn't like Carl Froch. Carl Froch mentions him, although I haven't really watched much of Carl Froch's videos lately. But Carl Froch, I know, has mentioned John Fury in the past. He's had a go with John Fury. They actually talked about having an actual, was it an exhibition or a boxing type match? And John Fury, any man, any time, was saying words to the effect of, oh, I'll fight you, Carl Froch, but the money has to be right. And Carl Froch basically said, all right, well, if we arrange payment, it can go.
Gareth A. Davies points out that John Fury's aggressive behavior is often driven by passion for his sons' careers. His confrontational comments toward Carl Froch are influenced by protective instincts rather than pure malice. Froch, on the other hand, remains calm and measured, knowing how to handle provocation without escalating unnecessarily. This contrast highlights why Froch is considered a tactician in boxing both inside and outside the ring. While John Fury relies on intensity and threats, Carl Froch's approach combines strategy, experience, and patience. The interaction shows the psychological aspect of the feud, demonstrating that Froch doesn't respond to every provocation and maintains control, further emphasizing why he commands respect even when facing aggressive opponents or outspoken figures like John Fury.
What John does, he's very, very, very passionate around his sons when they're fighting, and it gets something out of him. I spoke to him, literally face to face, and I said, well, what is upset? He said, I don't want people calling me out because I'll take any man on. Yeah. You know the comments. Yeah. My guy. Yeah.
Carl Froch responds to John Fury's claims with a mix of humor and authority, reminding everyone of his legendary status as a four-time world champion. He dismisses Fury's challenge, pointing out the practical impossibility of the spectacle Fury imagines. By referencing his historic Wembley fight in front of nearly 900,000 fans, Froch underscores his elite career and experience. His statement shows confidence, not arrogance, emphasizing that past achievements and skill matter more than empty threats. This reinforces Froch's dominance in both perception and capability, making it clear that while Fury may be loud, Carl Froch's reputation and accomplishments speak far louder, establishing him as the undisputed authority in this heated exchange.
What makes you think we can fill the Wembley Stadium? Me and you. Listen, you're 59 years old. You're obviously not in shape. I'm Carl Froch, the Cobra, Hall of Famer, 4 times world champ. I don't talk about it much, but I once boxed at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 people, and it was a big grudge match between 2 top world level.
The discussion here takes a lighter tone, reflecting John Fury's larger-than-life personality and his brash, often over-the-top behavior. While Carl Froch remains focused on his career and challenges, John Fury's antics continue to dominate social media and fan conversations. This commentary highlights the contrast between Froch's calculated, disciplined approach and Fury's flamboyant, unpredictable style. Even amid humor and exaggeration, it reinforces why Froch handles the drama with composure, understanding that the spectacle often serves Fury's persona more than actual threat. This dynamic shows the psychological chess at play, with Froch letting experience and strategy guide him while Fury leans on showmanship.
Of the king of the world. I think he's referring to Tyson Fury. When you have kids, most people, when they want to talk about their children, they might pull their mobile phone out and show a few pictures. Big John just shows you his balls. That's where they came from. If there's anyone who needs a Manscaped advert, it's fucking John Fury.
The Carl Froch and John Fury saga has reached a boiling point following the recent training footage and the explosive claims of steroid use. Carl Froch has responded with his trademark confidence and clarity, dismissing the accusations and standing firm on his legacy as a 4-time world champion. John Fury's aggressive warnings and provocative comments have only intensified the public debate, but Froch's measured approach demonstrates why he is respected inside and outside the ring. Observers like Johnny Nelson and Dominic Ingle emphasize Froch's disciplined mentality, highlighting that he engages only when there is purpose and never lets empty threats dictate his actions. Experts including Eddie Hearn and Joe Egon reinforce Froch's skill, toughness, and composure, contrasting sharply with Fury's theatrical style. The back-and-forth history, potential exhibition discussions, and the sheer intensity of both men's personalities have created a narrative that captivates the boxing community. Fans are now watching closely, anticipating every move and statement, and the excitement continues to grow as Carl Froch proves he will respond on his own terms while maintaining control over his career and reputation. Subscribe now to follow all the updates and witness every moment of this epic confrontation unfold live on Fighters Corner News.